Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome live. Coming to you from the west end of Waterbury, Connecticut. It is March, so you know what that means. It is tournament basketball time as the Guilford Grizzlies take the trip up from Southern Connecticut in the Southern Connecticut Conference after a 13-8 regular season. Pay a visit up here in Waterbury to the Kennedy Eagles, the 4 seed in Division III CIAC hoops after a 17-3 regular season, looking to start their final postseason campaign of the year. Again here in the Division III bracket. Guilford coming off a resounding win in their last game as they faced off against East Haven. And the Grizzlies took that one 64-38, so a one-game winning streak coming into this one for Guilford. On the other hand, Kennedy, after the strong regular season, coming off a loss in their last outing in the NVL championship game, 58-42 to Naugatuck, in a uncharacteristic kind of loss for Kennedy. They only had one player in double figures for the entire game. As usually the Eagles come at you from multiple directions, multiple players in double figures. 5 is the norm for Kennedy. But they look to bounce back and start this postseason tournament off right, as we are just 70 seconds away from tip, as we'll come back at the other end after the starting lineup for both teams. All right, ladies and gentlemen, styles make fights, so this should be a good one. Head coach of Guilford, Jeff DeMaio, stressing pre-game to focus on score control and to stop Kennedy from getting out and running, keeping the score low, and keeping the tempo in their favor. On the other hand, Kennedy, coached by Armin Lavassiere, looking to keep that balanced scoring attack going and keeping it, or getting it back on track, I should say, after the disappointing NVL championship game, looking to get back on track and find that edge again going into this postseason run. So the starting five for Guilford: Cal Bucci, Theo Freeman, Kevin Goldberg, Luke St. Marie, and led by number 5, Justin Hess, the junior all-conference. On the other hand, Kennedy, the starting five: Sincere Alves, Manny Beeman, Lennox Serrano, Chauncey Hicks, led by David Zielinski most of the year. As we will head to center court, the officials for tonight, John Taft and Al Carfora, to throw up the opening tip. Lines are drawn. Ball is up, and the tip is won and fought for. Guilford eventually is now a fight for it by the baseline to our left. The whistle blows. Looks like we have a tie-up to start the game. So after Guilford wins the tip, Kennedy eventually wins possession. Guilford out in a stretched-out zone press, it looks like, looking to trap at half court. Skip pass now. They look to work it inside. Pull up inside, no good, but an offensive tip put back by Lennox Serrano to get the scoring started for Kennedy. Is routed back the other way. Another press for Kennedy now, half court. Nearly coming up with the steal was Alves. As now Guilford tries to work it around. Kennedy's defense getting them off their marks is a wild pass. Out of bounds, turnover there by Hess. And back the other way to Kennedy it goes. So inbounded now, Beeman will jog it up. And a man-to-man defense waits as the press is scrapped in the half court for Guilford. As now Alves receives it, directs traffic up top, picks up his dribble now. Nearly travels now as Serrano works it inside Zielinski. Deep three ball, no good. Off of the far heel of the rim, and back the other way come the Grizzlies. Inside Guilford, spinning around Goldberg. Skip pass outside to the corner. Goldberg gets it back. Now Bucci drives left, kicks it outside. Goldberg nowhere to go, picks up his dribble again. Now St. Marie up top with it. 6.5 to go in the quarter. Three ball is up, no good from Bucci. Rebound high is Kennedy, and back the other way. Sincere Alves will try the three ball, and that is good. Sincere Alves with the three ball, and Kennedy extends its lead out 5-0 with just under 2 minutes off the clock. Kennedy waits back in its half-court pressure. Guilford crosses the timeline now. Goldberg spins into the paint, up, draws contact, misses the lay-in, but will head to the charity stripe. Foul there on David Zielinski. That'll be his first, team's first of the game as well. He thought he had verticality. Official thought otherwise. So 2 shots now for Goldberg. It looks to break the seal for Guilford. As he settles, shot is up and good. So Kevin Goldberg gets the scoring started for Guilford. 6:02 to play in the first quarter. As Goldberg settles, shot is up and good. So able to connect on the pair. The score stands at 5-2, 5:58 to play. As now Beeman crosses the timeline. Alves thinks about it, now drives middle, finds some space. Scoop shot up and under and in. So sweet shot there by Alves as the defense extends out. Zielinski, the point man in the pressure. Guilford able to break it. Skip pass outside. St. Marie drives middle, now out to Goldberg. Drive in, now pops it back out. Corner three ball is up, no good. Rebound Zielinski, but it's fought for. Another held ball situation between Goldberg and Zielinski. Possession arrow favors Guilford, so they will jog back down this way and keep possession. So the pass outside, three balls up and in. So Justin Hess gets his scoring started with the three ball. Cuts the lead to 2, 7-5, 5:15 to play. So a big shot there from Hess is now back the other way. Alves, step back three is up and in. So Sincere Alves 2 for 2 from 3-ball land. So now the pressure extends out again. Met prior to half court. As they work it around. Now Hess again for 3 is up and in. So Justin Hess, second 3-ball of the game for Justin, and it's 10-8. So back and forth we go. Alves drives baseline, kicks it out to Zielinski. Zielinski tries the 3 long again. Offensive board. Now back in, Zielinski drives in, he's fouled. So an offensive board from Lennox Serrano. As the foul was on Goldberg, his first, team's first. Zielinski to the free throw line with a 2-point advantage. As the action is picked up a little bit here, halfway through the quarter. So the first shot is up and in for Zielinski as he gets his scoring started. As he settles for the second, shot is up and good. So able to connect on both, perfect from the stripe for both teams. As Zielinski now waits up top and now retreats as the defense goes back to a regular man-to-man. So it looks like we have another foul here. Serrano with the hip check out past the 3-point line. Whistled for the foul. So that's the second on Kennedy as a team as we have our first substitution of the day. Checking in, number 13, Riley Swan for the Grizzlies. Checking out is St. Marie. Is now pressured up top. Is Bucci by Beeman. Swan gets the ball in his first action. Drived and pressured by Zielinski. Nowhere to go. Keeps retreating. He's out by the half-court line now. So now Goldberg looks to drive. Finds an angle. Drives in and around and up and in. So Kevin Goldberg, first field goal of the night. Cuts the lead back to 2. 3:54 to play. Is inside Serrano. Tough shot contested. No good. Rebound by Guilford, and they come back the other way. Hess now met long 3-ball, and it's good. Justin Hess. 9 on the evening for Justin. Shot that one from West Side Middle School. And that's the first lead of the game for Guilford. 13-12, 3:24 to play as Alves dribbles the air out the ball, ends up getting it to Beeman, who nearly turns it over. Now gets it back in the corner. 3-ball is up, no good, off the heel of the rim. And we have a foul underneath. Chauncey Hicks picks up the foul, pushing on the rebound attempt. And Guilford looking to extend on their early lead. 13-12. As Justin Hess making his presence felt as now he's being waited for at half court by Alves, who looks to pressure him out of the rhythm. Now he dribbles in, drives now, lots of contact, gets his own handle on it, now skips it inside. Elbow jumper, no good. Rebounded by the smallest guy in the court, Beeman, as he looks to push, but the defense waits back. Makes a couple guys touch earth. Deep 3-ball attempt, no good. First miss of the day for Sincere Alves. Goldberg comes down with the rebound, and now quickly back the other way comes Guilford. Hess outside, straightaway 3-ball attempt is good again. Justin Hess pouring it on from deep. 15-12 is the score. 2:26 to play. It's now aggressive defense from Guilford as they can smell blood in the water as Alves picks up his dribble 40 feet from the basket. Pressure defense, skip to Serrano. Alves tries the 3-ball attempt, no good off the heel, but Beeman gets the long rebound. Nice pass inside. Hicks unable to come down with the make. Serrano does another offensive board, and Lennox Serrano gets another field goal off another offensive board for 2. So the foul on Justin Hess, his first team's first substitutions for both teams. Hakeem Trueheart in for Kennedy. Checking in is Isaac Ott-Hill for Guilford. Serrano will head to the line and try to make it a 3-point trip. And he does. So Lennox Serrano up to 5 on the evening. as now Hess gets the inbound and jogs it up. Now crosses the timeline, lofts it over to Swan. Swan gets it into just entering into the game. Ott Hill, as they work it around, try to find some space in the defense. Hess looking to post up but couldn't find any space. Being shadowed by Alves now as Goldberg up top. Drives into two defenders, picks up the miss. Tries to drive in, finds contact. Tough foul call there. And Serrano doesn't like the call. Honestly, could have been worse, as that call is on Chauncey Hicks. That's his second. Is about to check into the game as Mussolari waits at the scores table for Kennedy, as well as Brandon Skulkland for Guilford. But lucky for Kennedy, as Hess was wide open in the corner off of that battle for the ball. Luckily, I guess, for Kennedy, they get the foul call instead, their third team foul. But a break in the action as Hess had to come out of the game. He has some blood on his hand that he has to tend to from the trainer behind the scores table. But in the meantime, basketball is being played. Goldberg heads to the free throw line for two. First shot is up and rattles in and good. So Goldberg able to connect on the first as the substitute for Guilford waits for likely the shooter. The second shot is up and good for Goldberg, as now he takes a rest. As I mentioned, Skokland into the game for him. Is Guilford with a 3-point lead, 90 seconds to play in the opening quarter, as Trueheart walks it up now and waits at the logo. Zielinski now with it at the wing. Give and go to Trueheart. It's tipped out. We'll see where the call is. The official saw it as a tip out deflection by Guilford, so Kennedy will keep possession on the baseline. Serrano inbounds it to Zielinski. A fight for it on the ground. Swan has it, and a timeout called by Guilford. So Guilford will keep possession as Swan got dirty on the ground to keep possession for Guilford. So coming out of the timeout, the Grizzlies will have possession 90 feet from the hoop. As we'll take a quick break here as Guilford 18, Kennedy 15 in an exciting opening quarter of action. 30-second timeout. We'll be right back. This is DET Sports Media on YouTube. So back to the action here from Kennedy High School on the west end of Waterbury in the town plot area. A little discussion near the logo as Hess looking to check back into the game, the junior all-conference player, and you see why as the ball is inbounded for Guilford as the defense waits at half court. But Hess doing the scoring, or majority of it, for Guilford, is two players doing the scoring for them as a foul. Now Zielinski frustrated here. Picks up the foul. That's his second. So now Hess checking back into the game. Now Beeman checking back in for Kennedy as Zielinski takes a rest with that second foul. So a near steal ends up turning into the foul. Inbound to here, sideline in front of the Kennedy bench. Over to Hess. But you see why he's all conference. Gets the give and go, drives in, stripped away. Nice defense by Trueheart. As now Beeman pushes it up ahead, no numbers. Mussolari tries the three, no good off the heel. Big fight for the board, jump ball. Kennedy keeps possession underneath. So quick whistle there, but the ref's tried to get a cap back on it. As now Serrano will inbound it underneath. Ends up going over the top to Beeman. Beeman drives left. Now pulls it back up. Alves now trying to go right, finds his space, keeps his dribble, now gets it to Beeman. Trueheart through contact through Beeman, misses the layup, fight for it. And nearly backcourt, but he never crossed the timeline, so Hess comes up with it under 30 seconds to play. Checked by Alves now, dribbles right to left, through the contact, nearly throws it away. There's a shuffle of the feet, swings it around. Swan now dribbles in. Swan now gets it over, tried to get it over at least to Hess, but good deflection there from Alves. Now Bucci drives and kicks. Baseline up, floaters in for Brendan Skockland as the buzzer sounds. So Brendan Skockland on the board as the third player to score for Guilford as they finish the first quarter on a flurry. So the first 8 minutes, Guilford up 5, 20-15 versus the visiting, or the home, I should say, Kennedy Eagles, 20-15. We'll take a break as the teams do as well at the end of one. This is DET Sports Media on YouTube. So the second horn sounds and the teams take the stage again as Guilford gets possession to start the second quarter after a fun first quarter, leading 20-15 over the home Kennedy Eagles. As Goldberg looks to get into his stuff, spins in, but a double dribble call, questionable call there. I don't think he actually double dribbled. It was more of a carry, but nonetheless a turnover going back the other way to Kennedy. So a good start for Armin Lavassier and his Eagles as they look to put a cap on Guilford here and look to get back to what they do best, which is a balanced scoring attack, but not what you see so far for Kennedy, as the defense has really stepped up for Guilford. As now Trueheart finds some space inside, scoop up and under and in. Hakeem Trueheart, nice lay-in there, and quickly back the other way, pushing is Guilford inside the Goldberg. Goldberg now pulls it outside, met by Serrano. Is now inside Bucci, misses long. Rebound by Beeman. Beeman through a host of defenders now, pushes. Is now driving baseline, scoop outside. Trueheart, no good on the three-ball attempt. Rebound by Guilford, and back the other way come the Grizzlies. Bucci to Goldberg as they swing it around. Now it's inside as a foul called on Musalari. Tough call there, as that is the 6th team foul on Kennedy with over 6 to play in the first half. As now Guilford will inbound it. Screen is set. And nearly 5, and there it is, the call, turnover, 5-second call. And Kennedy, defense definitely stepped up here in the second quarter. It looks like the message has been received by the players, as the intensity is now met on both sides. As now Kennedy gets into their offense, Musalari swings it around. Trueheart going baseline, gets it back over to Musalari. Trueheart now back to Musalari. They play catch, 3 balls up and good for Ergay. So tie game now, 20 apiece. as Bucci picks up his dribble. Aggressive defense from Musalari, and we'll see what the call is here. Musalari again on the call. That's his second in as many trips. So no shot underneath. Nope, sorry, 1-1. As Kennedy in the bonus. Or Guilford's in the bonus off of the penalty from Kennedy. So 1-1 attempt here for Kevin Goldberg. Shot is up and in. So he'll have a second crack at it as they retake the lead momentarily by 1. Second shot is up and in, so Kevin Goldberg remains perfect from the free throw line early on. 8 on the night for Kevin. So now the defense extends out for Guilford. Kennedy breaks the pressure easily. Alves thinks about it. Now drives baseline. Serrano inside. Goldberg came up with the ball, but also came up with a foul. As that's on him, that's his second, only the 4th on Guilford as a team. There's a substitution now. Goldberg takes a rest with his second foul. Doesn't want to pick up a cheap one this early in the second quarter as it's inbounded now. Trueheart pull up, long, no good. Tipped in, end up coming up with it is Guilford. Back the other way comes St. Marie, and now Hess, leading man on the game with the ball. Dribbles right, kicks now as it's swung around to Bucci. It's now up top Freeman. It's Guilford into their stuff. Nice backdoor cut, but it's stripped away. Nice defense there by Kennedy. As Serrano drives in, nice take by Lennox. Serrano, a strong take by the Kennedy big man as they tie up the game 22-all. It's nearly poked away by Alves. Hess comes up with it, dribbles out of pressure. Trueheart waits, crosses over, in pull-up jumper is good, able to rattle in. It's Justin Hess, 14 on the evening for the leading man for Guilford. It's nearly poked away in the backcourt, able to finally cross the timeline is Kennedy. Musalari drives into some traffic, through contact, no good, but he gets his own miss. Pass rifled into Serrano, who couldn't handle it. Ends up back in the hands of Sincere. It's tipped out by Guilford. Kennedy will keep possession. As a substitution, Swan checking back into the game. Cal Bucci takes a rest. As Serrano will inbound at baseline for Kennedy. Taking a lot of time, ends up getting it into Trueheart in the corner. Beeman up top. Waits, now crosses over, drives, Euro step through the defense and in. So Manny Beeman, first points of the evening, ties us back up at 24 apiece, 4:34 to play in the quarter. So now Hess crosses the timeline and gets it to Swan. Swan drives left, pulls up, shuffled his feet a little bit, and turns it over with the travel. As now Hess heads to the sideline to take the cotton out of his nose, as it appears the bleeding has stopped. Now he's able to breathe right, as now he checks Manny Beeman right after half court. Switching defense now gets back up on Beeman. Trueheart now up top. Thinks about it, but shuffled his feet before making his move. So a turnover here, and back the other way it goes to Guilford. It is back into the game. Bucci, after the short rest, gives St. Marie the breather as the ball is inbounded to Hess with 4:06 to play. Checked at half court by Alves, the leading man for Kennedy at 8. Now Swan gets it over to Hess. Hess finds some space. Pull-up jumper is good. So Justin Hess, 16 now on the night for the leading man for Guilford. And back the other way comes Kennedy. Guilford nursing a 2-point lead now. As Alves finds some space, right-handed layup going left. Nice finish there from Alves, and he's the first Kennedy player in double figures. So now Hess back the other way, drives left. Now Bucci with it, pressured by Beeman. Swan driving left, poked away, ends up right in the hands of Freeman. Fight for it, jump ball, and Kennedy will get possession back. So good defense there by the Eagles off of a couple deflections. and they are able to earn possession back. As a substitution now, short break for St. Marie. Coming in for Scotland. And Serrano back at the other end, inbounds it. Beeman with the ball, tie game, 3:18 to play. As now Alves left open, 3 balls up, no good, misses right. Bucci comes down with it, and he'll push it himself. Crosses the timeline, waits too long to get it to Hess, but now he does. Give and go now, Bucci drives left over Serrano, nice layup left. And Cal Bucci with his first bucket of the night. And Guilford retakes the lead by 2 with 2:52 to play in the half. Alves thinks about it, gets it over to Trueheart. Trueheart waits, now drives, loses it. And back the other way comes Guilford. Met by a double team. Gets it to Bucci. Swan, first shot of the night, up short on the 3-ball attempt, no good. Alves comes down with the rebound. Gets it over to his point man, Beeman. Beeman now over to Trueheart. Drew out to Alves. Alves drives right, knifes through the defense. Blocked though, contact. Now a fight for it underneath, but Bucci ends up getting it. Looks to push. Nice hesitation move, right-handed layup going left, and Cal Bucci, second bucket in as many trips, and the lead is up to 4 with 2:04 to play. 30-26. As Beeman settles down now, goes left, crosses over, met by Bucci. Skip pass, nearly tipped away. Alves now could have went back door, but didn't see his guy. He tries the floater and misses. Hess ends up coming up with it. Floats it up to Swan. Swan with some space will pull it up and no good again. Beeman coming down with it. 98 seconds to play in the half. Up to Alves. Trueheart, pull-up jumper from the free throw line, no good. As the action's picked up, rebounded by Guilford. So now Bucci will settle us a little bit. Minute 25 to play in the half as he finally crosses the timeline, met by Beeman. So now they get into their offense a little bit. Keeping that pivot foot there. Looks like we have a 5-second call. So good defense there by Ergi. Musalari causes the turnover there, 5-second call. As he can't hold the ball for that long. Theo Freeman finding that out the hard way. So now with a minute 12 to play, Kennedy with possession, looking to cut into this small, but at the same time large, as it's the biggest of the game for Guilford, lead. So now Alves dribbles up top, now makes his move, spinning through, knifes through the defense, up, draws the contact, no good, but will head to the free throw line for 2. So Alves to the line. First is up and in, so 11 for the leading scorer right now for Kennedy as a substitution. Now Goldberg checking back into the game for Scotland, who picked up that last foul. As Alves up and in, able to connect on both. So perfect from the free throw line are both teams. As now Sean Reed checking in for Kennedy, giving Lennox Serrano a breather. As Alves waits at the logo for Justin Hess to cross the timeline and get into the offense as he floats it up. Wild pass, turns it over. Trueheart back the other way, looks to push. Beeman pulls it back out. Now circles around. Musalari for threes, up and no good. Hess comes down with the board, looks to push himself. Has the smaller defender on him. Let's see what he does with it. Skip pass to the corner, 3 balls up and way off. Beeman coming down with the board, he'll push. There's a foul at half court by Bucci. Questionable call there, as it may have benefited Guilford, as that's only the 5th team fouls. It stops the break as a substitution here. Checking into the game for the first time for Guilford, Brady Lynch. And also Isaac Oat-Hill coming back into the game to close out the final 18 seconds of the half. As Trueheart will look to hold for 1. As Alves now works it around, 9 seconds, pulls the trigger, no good. Beeman comes up with it. Alves tries again for three. High arcing shot, air ball, short, and that'll take us to the break. Is an impressive finish to both quarters from Guilford as they will head to half with a 2-point advantage, being led by leading scorer for both sides, Justin Hess, putting on a show from behind the three-point arc. 16 on the night for the junior all-conference Southern Connecticut Conference player, Justin Hess. And on the other end, a choppy performance from Kennedy as David Zielinski, leading scorer over the course of the year, had to sit with 2 fouls as Coach Armin Lavassier did not want him to pick up a cheap third one. So he likes it. He'd rather his guy be fresh for the whole second half, we would assume. But Sincere Alves leading the way with 12 for Kennedy. Lennox Serrano chipping in with 6. As we'll take a break, as the teams do as well. 8:16 on the timer for this halftime break. We'll come back at the other end. This is DET Sports Media being broadcast on YouTube. Waterbury High School boys basketball. This is the CIAC second round boys basketball tournament. We'll be back for the second half of action. So back we come here on this evening edition in the second round of the CIAC Division III tournament. An entertaining first half as the visiting 13 seed Guilford Grizzlies, coming off of an impressive 64-38 win over East Haven the other day, lead it by 2 over the 4-seeded 17-3 on the regular season Kennedy Eagles. A choppy performance in the first half for Kennedy, led by Sincere Alves with 12 points. Second leading scorer Lennox Serrano, and then after that, just a lot of collections of 2s and 3s. The usual suspect for leading scorer for Kennedy, David Zielinski, only with 2. Same amount of fouls for the leading man for the Eagles. On the other end, Justin Hess shooting a clinic in the first half. As back into action we go. Guilford with the opening possession now. Goldberg checked up top as Bucci looks to drive baseline, kicks it outside, and him and Goldberg play catch. Swung around, looks like the defensive pressure has been upped up a little bit, and a bad foul there from Zielinski, if that's on him. And it is, so bad foul there. You do not want to pick that one up with less than 20 seconds off the clock in the third quarter. As now Guilford lofts it up, turns it over. Serrano with the turnover, intercepts it, drives in, contact, charge, picked up. Bucci able to step in. Lennox Serrano picks up his second foul. So less than 30 seconds off the clock. Haven't seen a point scored yet for either team, but about as bad as a start can get for Kennedy, and as little a time has come off the clock. So Hess, leading man for both sides with the ball now, crosses over, drives right, ends up getting it over to St. Marie, who drives back middle, checked up top by Zielinski, nowhere to go, leaves his feet, ends up getting it to Goldberg. Looking to post up is Hess, but Alves right on him. He ends up getting it 40 feet from the basket, now makes his move, lofts it into Goldberg, outside 3-ball, no. And Alves comes down with the rebound at the free throw line. Zielinski now pulls up for 3, is good. So David Zielinski, that's the start you want to see for the Eagles. He's now up to 5. And Kennedy retakes the lead here early in the quarter. He's now pulling up right on the block is Bucci. Nice finish there by Cal. That's his third field goal of the night as Guilford retakes the lead. Another lead change here, second of the period. This is dropped off to Serrano. Serrano short on the lay-in, through contact, gets his own board and able to finish in. So Serrano able to get the offensive board and bucket. Contact up and no good. Nope. The refs confer, lower the shoulder. The bucket will not count. Kevin Goldberg picks up his third foul. So the charge is drawn. And back the other way will come Kennedy. So the shoulder was lowered, and the turnover was awarded. So now Alves picks up his dribble now, nowhere to go. As they swing it around up top. Beeman thinks about it, now gets it to Zielinski. Straight away 3 is up, no good off the heel of the rim. And Bucci now pushes it up ahead. St. Marie drives up and in. So Luke St. Marie, first bucket of the game. And David Zielinski picks up another foul. That's his 4th foul. So he'll come out of the game frustrated. Hakeem Trueheart checks in for him. Is now out of the gym and walking around in frustration in the hallways as Zielinski, as he just got into a rhythm, it would seem, on the offensive end, but exits the game. It's now St. Marie to tie this game up, no, and that's our first missed free throw of the game. And Guilford remains down 1. Thinking about the shot, no. It's Alves. Trueheart now leaves his feet, passes it back up to Alves, rifles it inside. Missing on the layup was Chauncey Hicks, who just checked into the game, but he was fouled. He'll head to the free throw line for 2. As the foul is on number 22 Scotland, who just checked into the game. That's his second, team's second in this half. Now Hicks, first free throw is up and no good. So Chauncey Hicks keeping the trend going and missed free throws here in the third quarter. He tries to extend tie the game up, and he does. And we're tied at 34 apiece, 5:37 to play in the third quarter as Hess up top, checked by Alves. 5-second call starts as he gets it off to Bucci as they get into their offense, into the corner now. St. Marie drives middle. Now Bucci tries the three ball, no good long. A fight for it, tipped out by Guilford, and back the other way, Kennedy will come up with it. So now Beeman walking it up, crossing the timeline, all knotted up at 34 apiece. Serrano inside. Beeman thinks about it, got the defender off his feet for a moment. Alves now met by St. Marie. Drives left, pulls up, baseline shot is long, and Guilford comes down with it. Now pushing the other way, no numbers, but he'll take it anyways. Driving it up and in is Scotland. Nice finish there with the left, and taking the lead back is Guilford. So no numbers, but took it anyway. Nice aggressive take. As now Kennedy gets into their action. Trueheart nearly traveled. Picked up his dribble, gets it over to Serrano. Serrano driving middle. Gets it over to Hicks. Hicks to the point man, Beeman. Good defense here by Guilford, nowhere to go with it. Tries finding some space, blocked out of bounds. Rejection there from St. Marie, but Kennedy will keep possession underneath. So Serrano to inbound it. Waits and waits. And 5-second call before the timeout can be called, so turned over. Guilford gets possession back. Good defense on the inbound. Bad turnover there by Serrano as he'd waited way too long to even think about calling the timeout. So half of the period gone. Is Hess now making a move, driving right, hands it off to Freeman. Freeman to Bucci. Bucci met up top, picked up his dribble. Foul called by Beeman. That's his first, team's third. Guilford nursing the lead here. A 2-point lead, just under 4, or just over 4 off the clock in the first quarter of the second half. But now Hess receives the inbound, met by Alves right at the logo as he drives right. Now into the corner, open, line drive, 3-ball attempt, no good. Gets a second shot at it, St. Marie, no good again. Serrano, big board, gets it to Alves, pushes it up ahead to Trueheart. 2-on-2 break, tries a scoop layup, no good, blocked away from Freeman. Kennedy will take possession again, so deja vu underneath is Serrano, looks to inbound it. Good defense here, takes a while again, but ends up getting it into Trueheart this time, who immediately retreats outside of the three-point line. Now will drive left, kicks it out. Hicks, baseline jumper is good. So Chauncey Hicks' first field goal of the game ties us up at 36 apiece. As back and forth we go. Tried to force it up, was Bucci taken away. Trueheart lays it up and no good on the lefty layup. Offensive board, no good again. A fight for it. And back the other way will be Guilford as it was off of Kennedy. 3:03 to play in the third quarter. As a substitution here, Swan checking back into the game, giving Bucci a breather as the ball is inbounded 90 feet away to Hess as he walks it up, met by Alves. No scoring here yet in the second half for Justin Hess, but his team doing a good job of keeping steady as he skips it into the middle. pull-up jumper. Swan, nice jumper there. First field goal of the game for Riley Swan. And Guilford takes the lead back 38-36. As now Serrano will try a deep ball, trying to show off some range way off there. Didn't even draw iron, and quickly back the other way comes Guilford. Swan will pull up again for 3 short this time. Going high for the rebound. Misses on the handle. It's up to Hess, who misses the 3-ball attempt. A rare sight there, blocked away by Serrano. Trueheart back the other way, tried to squeeze it inside to Alves, tipped away. And Kennedy will keep possession on the sideline right in front of their own bench. So Serrano inbounding it now, gets it in to Beeman. Beeman drives middle, scoops it up and in, and scores. So Beeman able to connect. Hess picks up his second foul of the night. And Beeman knots us up at 38 with a chance to take the lead back for Kennedy. So Beeman settles now. Shot is up and good. So Manny Beeman, 5 on the night for the point guard Kennedy, and they take the lead back 39-38. 2:01 to play. Nice pass inside to from Hess. Inside to Theo Freeman, who lays it in. Nice entry pass there over the top of the defender. And Guilford retakes the lead 40-39, minute 47 to play in the quarter. Crosses over as Trueheart drives in through the lane. Misses. Serrano with the rebound. Up and in for Lennox Serrano, who gets into double figures, 11 on the night for the big man. Thinking about pulling up his Swan the other way. Now a pull-up skip pass from Hess. Swan pulls up from 3. No good off the front of the rim. Offensive board for Guilford, knocked away. Another offensive board, but a miss, and Serrano comes down with a big rebound. And Beeman now back the other way with the defense ready for him as they wait back. Alves now driving left. Pump fake, nice move. Up and in through contact was Alves. As the lead is up to 3 for Kennedy, biggest lead of the half for the Eagles. As Alves was able to finish through what looked like an intentional foul attempt by Guilford. As now Swan waits for it up top. Thought about getting it into Hess, but he's met inside by the physical defense. Now Hess drives in, another block. It's a block party in the second half for Kennedy. As now a 3-ball attempt is up, no good for Alves as Swan comes down with it. Met at half court, fouled by Beeman, his second. Stops the break. It's a fast-paced third quarter. As we blew through this third quarter, only 30 seconds to play. A lot of fast-paced action. There's a couple substitutions. Goldberg coming back into the game with 3 fouls, as well as Bucci, who took a quick breather for the Grizzlies of Guilford. There's now another substitution here. As Brady Lynch checking back in. As he now touches the scorer's table. There's a lot of movement here. Now Goldberg will inbound it. Hess shadowed by Alves. Hess hasn't scored yet here in the second half. He did enough in the first half to keep him as the leading man to the game still. But inside now Bucci. Stripped away from Beeman. But Guilford will keep possession, trailing by 3 with 21 seconds to play in the third quarter. So they'll inbound it underneath their own basket on their end of the court. As Hess is held, and the officials saw it. So the foul on Alves, that's his first of the night. I'm sure if it was up to him, he could trade a couple of his points to give a couple of his fouls, or take a couple of fouls from his teammates as he has a few to spare. Is now underneath, inbound into Lynch. It's now underneath. Goldberg thinks about the 3. Swan swings it around. Lynch tries the long 2, no good. And Trueheart comes out with it, looking to push the break. Drives in, leaves his feet. Alves hop step up and no good. He's fouled underneath on the block. So the foul is on Kevin Goldberg, who just checked into the game with under 20 seconds to play, picks up a cheap one. 4th foul, so 2 players in foul trouble, 1 on each team. Zielinski and Goldberg, respectively. As he'll come out with 3 seconds to play as Alves goes to the free throw line, unable to grow the lead for Kennedy. Is coming back in as Brendan Scocklin giving Goldberg a breather as Alves will settle for the second now. Chance to grow the lead to 4 with 3.8 to play in the 3rd quarter. Shot is up and in, so 15 on the night for Alves. As it's pushed up ahead, a shot attempt, no good. It is blocked again. So that must be the 6th block of the quarter for Kennedy, as a strong quarter coming out of the half for the Eagles, and that's just what Coach Armin Lavassiere ordered. As Kennedy goes into the 4th quarter, final frame leading 44-40 over Guilford. They look to get back on track. Justin Hess, still the leading scoring man on the night, 16. No points in the 3rd quarter. Sincere Alves leading man for Kennedy with 15. We'll take a quick break at the other end as we will start the 4th quarter. This is Connecticut CIAC boys basketball 2nd round action. Waterbury High School basketball. DET Sports Media on YouTube. So 3 quarters in the books. Welcome back in what's been a really, really entertaining game here between 2 different styles of play. Guilford, the 13 seed, trailing Kennedy, the 4 seed at home. As we start the 4th quarter, Kennedy holding on to a 44-40 lead. A strong 3rd quarter for Kennedy is Hakeem Trueheart tries to get the scoring started. A wild layup attempt is no good. As a 3-ball attempt is up, no good. Offensive board, though, for Guilford. Inside, St. Marie kicks it out. Hess now kicks it to St. Marie. Line drive 3 is up and good. So St. Marie getting the scoring started. He's up to 5. Jeff DeMayo liking what he sees, egging his guys on from the sideline. As now Alves drives in, he's rejected. Hess coming back the other way with Alves back. Has some space finally, drives left and finishes. So Justin Hess hasn't scored since the 2nd quarter, goes coast to coast and takes the lead back for Guilford and a chance to add to it as he'll head to the line for the 3-point play attempt. As he sensed he had an opening with Alves back as he took the drive. Wasn't able to get back and check him as he has been the entire 3rd quarter. He's been doing a great job. Just not on that play, but Hess missing the free throw. Kennedy comes down with the rebound and back the other way comes Beeman. Trailing 7:08 to play in this game. He's now up top. Hicks gets it to Trueheart, drives left, crosses back over. Serrano thinks about it, now gets it to Alves, who's fouled up top. Theo Freeman reached inside, and Kennedy will inbound at baseline. Trailing 1 with just under 7 minutes to play. So Serrano inbounds it, nearly turned it over. Alves gets it over to Hicks. Hicks drives right, pulls up, off glass, no good, gets his own miss. Misses again, and a foul here as Freeman hit the deck. Looks like the foul was on Hicks, so dodging a bullet there. Serrano doesn't pick up his 3rd, so he's able to stay aggressive, but that will put Guilford in the bonus, the 7th team foul on Kennedy. So a foul 90 feet from the basket, resulting in shots for Guilford as they look to add to their lead, as they're currently on a 5-0 run right now. The shot is up and short, no good. It looks like we had a lane violation on Scotland for Guilford, so leading by 1, Guilford retreats to defense as Kennedy will inbound it 90 feet from their hoop as Beeman jogs it up, trailing by 1. Some miscommunication for a moment on defense by Guilford. Floats it up. Alves drives baseline, squeezes it in to Hicks, who was able to connect on the lay. A nice assist there from Alves. And back the other way comes Hess. Crosses over right. Step back. Pull-up jumper. No good. Leaves it long. Offensive board. Line drive. 3-ball attempt. Short. Another fight for it. Beeman comes up with it quickly ahead to Trueheart. And he's able to finish over the quickly approaching defender. And Kennedy takes the lead by 3 with 6:02 to play. As Hess drives left, pushes off a little bit, thinks about pulling up, but Alves slaps the ball away, but got some contact there and picks up his second foul, the night 8th team foul, so 2 away from the double bonus. Regardless, Hess will head to the free throw line to shoot at least 1, chance at 2 with the 1-and-1 attempt. So Hess settles, shot is up and no good. So a better percentage from the 3-point line than the free throw line for Hess. It's now Kennedy getting into their offense. Nice pass inside to Hicks, who's able to finish off glass. Chauncey Hicks up to 7, and a timeout called on the floor. So with 5:41 to play, Kennedy grows their lead out to 5, 50 to 45, 5:41 to play. Full timeout on the floor by Kennedy. We'll take a quick break as well as we come down the home stretch of the CIAC second round matchup. This is DET Sports Media on YouTube. So the crowd getting into it as the second horn sounds. Players take the stage again. 5:41 left to settle this one in what's been a very back and forth entertaining game between Guilford out of the Southern Connecticut Conference and Kennedy, second place team in the NVL, is quickly back to the action. Cal Bucci drives right, fouled inside by Manny Beeman, his 3rd, team's 9th. So Bucci on the shot will shoot 2. Chance to cut into this lead. But styles make fights as Bucci misses another free throw for Guilford, as that's the 3rd straight miss from the charity stripe for the Grizzlies, as he settles up and no good again. So you hate to see it. 3 points being left on the board as quickly back the other way. Trueheart pushes, unable to finish on the rebound, but another offensive board by Chauncey Hicks, who's making his presence felt in this 4th quarter. It's now inside, able to finish through the contact. It was Luke St. Marie, able to answer back, still trailing by 5 with 5:08 to play. As the defense changes a little bit for Guilford, a little bit of trapping action. Kennedy able to navigate it well. Pull-up jumper from the free throw line for Lennox Serrano. Up to 13 on the night for the big man for Kennedy. There's a dangerous pass for Guilford inside. Now 3-ball attempt in the corner, left short. Alves looks to push. fakes the pass, left-handed layup misses. Putback attempt misses by Serrano. And now back the other way comes Guilford, nearly dribbles it off his foot. Was Bucci inside, foul by Serrano. That's his third. And to the free throw line, Guilford will go to shoot 2. So in the double bonus now is Kennedy. 2 free throws the rest of the way for Guilford. However, they've yet to make a free throw in their last 4 attempts. So up and in on the first free throw attempt is Scotland. Able to stop the bleeding momentarily for Guilford. Guilford still trails in this fourth quarter. Second shot up, out, and in. So Coach DeMayo for Guilford sensing this is the moment, calling a timeout here to talk to his guys really quick. Kevin Goldberg just checked back into the game, as well as Riley Swan for the Grizzlies. But a timeout here by Guilford. 4:34 to play, 5-point game. Kennedy with the lead at home. The 4 seed looking to avoid going down to the 13 seed. But really the story's been in the first half, Justin Hess hot out the gate. Second quarter really had a hot scoring quarter there. Got up to 16 in the first half, but only 2 points since. 18 on the game, 2 in the second half. Whereas Kennedy's, it's been a slow build, but they've taken momentum away from this game. As mentioned earlier, Guilford looked to keep the game slower and stop Kennedy from running out, but Kennedy starting to get their legs under them. Although they missed on that last fast break attempt, they've been out and running the last couple of trips. So Kennedy's starting to get into their game, but Guilford keeps fighting. The story of the game has mostly been the finishes to each quarter. Guilford usually finishes strong. So to avoid a catastrophic finish, Kennedy will need to avoid that fate in this fourth and final quarter. So the teams break the huddles. Now Kennedy 90 feet from the basket will walk it up with 4:30 to play. Guilford waits. In their defense, they extend their zone out a little bit. They look to pressure and get the rotations right. It's now inside. Alves spins, wild shot. Couldn't get it above the rim. As now Hess pushes. Swan open 3-ball attempt. He'll take it and hit it. So Riley Swan from deep cuts the lead to 2. So on cue, Guilford making this one interesting as we go into the second half of this fourth quarter. As a drive and kick out to Alves, pull-up jumper from just inside the free throw line is good for Lennox Serrano, who's up to 15 on the night. Hess now crosses the timeline, kicks it. Bucci for 3, air ball, but it's caught by his own man under the basket. Wild pass picked up, turnover. Alves, Euro step inside, through contact, misses the layup, and if that's on Goldberg, he's out. And it is not. Looks like the foul was on Bucci, I believe, but Goldberg avoids coming out of the game. 3:31 to play. Kennedy nursing a 4-point lead. First free throw is up and no good for Alves. Is coming into the game for the final stretch with 4 fouls. David Zielinski. No chance in being conservative now, as this is playoff basketball. As the second shot is up and good for Alves, who extends the lead out to 5. As the ball is quickly pushed ahead to Swan. Swan's pressured, turned it over. As Serrano able to come up with the steal. Armin Lavassier didn't like the position his guy was in on that end of the court. Calls the timeout, 30 seconds. We'll take a quick breather. 3:22 to play. Kennedy leading by 5, 57-52. Second round action of the CIAC Division III Boys Basketball Tournament. So 89 feet from their own hoop, Lennox Serrano will inbound it for Kennedy. No pressure or resistance in the backcourt from Guilford as they will wait back in their man-to-man defense. As now Beeman crosses the timeline, met by Bucci. Now drives left, finds some space in the middle, nearly turns it over. Alves comes up with it. Drives left, now pulls it back. Met by Swan, who picks up the foul. That's the 7th on Guilford, so that'll be shots for Kennedy. As Alves will head back to the free throw line. 3:03 to play. Kennedy with a 5-point lead, so time starting to get short for Guilford as they fought back the entire game over the higher seed. Let's see if they have one more run left in them as the first shot is up and good for Alves. As we have a player on the floor. Not sure what that's about. I missed it. As now Alves settles. Second shot is up and good. So tied now as the leading scorer for both teams. Sincere Alves up to 18. As quickly back the other way comes Guilford. Swan, 3-ball is up and good. Riley Swan with another 3-ball, keeping Guilford in this game. 4-point game now as they extend their pressure on Makes. Zielinski drives in. Nice lay in there from Zielinski, able to answer back. So now Hess coming back the other way. Checked by Alves. Drives left, pull-up jumpers up and good, and the foul. So Hess up to 20 now, fouled by Alves. Got him on the hip on the shot attempt. So now Hess will head to the free throw line. Chance to cut this lead back down to 4. Or less. Not sure if the scoreboard is caught up. No, there it is. Okay. So Hess with a chance to cut this lead to 3. It stands at 4 currently. 2:34 to play. Now Hess settles up and in, so he's able to connect on that 3-point play. Able to get his free throw shooting right. 2:30 to play. Kennedy walks it up, nursing that 3-point lead. Another run for Guilford. Let's see how long they can sustain it for. As now Trueheart drives middle, now pulls it back, top of the key. Tries to squeeze it in, bad pass, but what's the call? They have a foul call on Goldberg. Let's see if that's his 5th. Oh, that's a tough call there. They had green challenge lights here in CIAC basketball. You would bet it would be illuminated at the scores table. But the 5th and final foul on Kevin Goldberg. So come out of the game for the final time. Now Lennox Serrano heads to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 attempt into the game. Luke St. Marie for Guilford, replacing the just fouled out Kevin Goldberg. But misses on the front end of the 1-and-1. Saved by Guilford up ahead. Bucci on the lay-in, blew the layup, ran out of space. That would have cut the lead to 1. Back the other way comes Kennedy. Zielinski thinks about driving, now kicks it out to Alves, picks up his dribble. Serrano just inside the free throw line. Converts on the bucket. And the lead's back up to 4 with 1:44 to play. Hess drives, kicks, Swan open for 3, no good this time. Alves comes down with the board. Trueheart looking to push. Drives and kicks. Zielinski, no rush. 93 seconds to play. And Guilford will start the foul game with no shot clock to rely on here. So trailing by 5 now is Guilford. So Alves, shot is up and no good. but we're in the double bonus, so he'll get a second crack at it. So what would have been a really costly miss becomes harmless because of one number. So the second shot is up for Alves, 19 on the night for Sincere. As now Bucci crosses the timeline, Swan with it, gets to the middle of the court, makes his move on Zielinski, drives middle, Euro up, layup, no good, travel called. Thought there were too many steps there. The lay-in's up, but the points will not count. Minute 18. Swan, too many steps there. So Zielinski inbound, gets the inbound now, crosses the timeline. Double team comes. Beeman now tries to squeeze it inside. Nearly turned over. Serrano comes up with it. No rush here for Kennedy. They work it around the horn. Trying the foul here, and there it is, the foul. So Manny Beeman will head to the line with exactly 60 seconds to play in this game, leading by 5 with a chance to extend the lead to potentially 7. Foul was on Riley Swan, his first of the game. As the first shot is up and no good, so the first free throw attempts of the game for Beeman, so not a bad guy to foul. Now Beeman settles. Shot is up and good on the second. So 50% on the night as the ball will roll up. A tenth of a second came off inexplicably. There's now a drive and kick. Bucci, contested 3 ball, up no good, fight for the board. Alves comes up with it. Up ahead, Beeman. Scoop, lay-in, good. And still 44 seconds to play, but that feels like a dagger. That extends the lead out to 9, largest of the game for Kennedy with 36 seconds to play. Timeout by Coach Jeff DeMaio from the bench as the crowd can sense it now. It's Kennedy pulling away late, 36 seconds to play. Guilford trying to draw up one last gasp, but with no shot clock, it's a tough ask of the Grizzlies. So back we go, baseline inbounds. Underneath, Theo Freeman will be the point man as he gets it in to Hess, who was on the end line, felt he was pushed. Official thought otherwise, as we'll have a conference here. We'll see what the call is. And possession changes. Possession changes, inbound area moves about 4 feet. So now Bucci tries the 3, no good, air ball. Offensive board from St. Marie, and he'll head to the free throw line. And we have a foul here. It looks like it's on Zielinski. If it is, that's his 5th. So 2 players fouling out, 1 on each team respectively. 8-point lead for Kennedy as the Eagles will conference. As Hicks will check into the game for the just fouled out Zielinski. A rough night for David. 7 points on the evening. As now to the free throw line, Luke St. Marie will go. 2 shots for Luke. Line drive, no good on the first. Second is up, line drive this time is good for St. Marie. 8 on the night as the defense still not giving in. Down 7 with just under 30 seconds to play. Foul 90 feet from the basket is Hakeem Trueheart. His first free throws of the night on the way. The first is up and long, no good off the heel of the rim. So the door slightly cracked open for Guilford. There's no rebounding resistance for Kennedy. So Guilford will have a clean rebound if he misses, but he does not. Trueheart making sure of that. Now inbounding it to Hess, who had a spectacular first night but just ran out of gas in this one. Pull-up turnaround, no good. Rebounded by St. Marie, who's up to double figures on the evening, puts it back in. Lead back to 7, 19 seconds to play. Full timeout for Guilford. We'll take a quick break at the other end of this one. This is the second round of the CIAC Division III Boys Basketball Tournament. This is Waterbury Boys High School Basketball on DET Sports Media. So back in action. Kennedy looking to close out this one with under 20 seconds to play. And the foul there on St. Marie for Guilford. But a lot needs to happen in this last 15 seconds. If Guilford wants to pull off the miracle. So Alves' first shot is up and good, so that puts him over the 20-point mark. There's a substitution, Swan coming in for a little offense-defense. Checking in for Scotland. It's now Alves at the line. Second shot is up and good. So now matching Justin Hess, who has the ball. Hess gets rejected, and that should do it. And slammed through was Lennox Serrano, and that will do it. Moving on in the CIAC Division III Boys Basketball Tournament, the Kennedy Eagles, the 4 seed, defeat the 13-seeded Guilford Grizzlies, whose season comes to a tough conclusion after a hard-fought game, multiple lead changes, multiple ties, big leads on both sides. Both teams gave it their all, but ultimately Kennedy comes out on top and moves on. Leading scorer for Kennedy, Sincere Alves, leading scorer for the game as well, tied with Justin Hess with 21. Lennox Serrano chipped in 18. Manny Beeman with 8, Chauncey Hicks with 9, Trueheart 5, David Zielinski, frustrating night for him, finished with 7 and 5 fouls on the evening. cap off the victory over Guilford. They will play next week in the CIAC tournament. They will face the winner of Rom and Ledyard, who should be concluding as we speak at the 5-seed Rom's house. So the next game for Kennedy on the 14th, 7 p.m. here in all likelihood, depending on the outcome, regardless of the outcome. But that concludes this one. Kennedy 72, Guilford 61. This is DET Sports Media on YouTube.